Thank you, Speaker. My question is to the Minister for Infrastructure and Transport, Regional Development and Local Government, representing the Minister for Broadband Communications and the Digital Economy. Will the Minister update the House on the rollout of the National Broadband Network in my community in Blacktown and across Australia? How does the NBN offer a clear choice for Australians who want to build a stronger, smarter and fairer nation?
The Minister for Infrastructure and Transport, representing the Minister for Broadband, has the call.
I thank the member for Greenway for her question and note that it was just a few weeks ago that the NBN was switched on in Blacktown. And the member, who is a proud advocate of the Blacktown community and the NBN, was present. And I note also the recent article from the Blacktown Advocate that said that Blacktown and NBN town divided. And that article spoke about how if the opposition policy gets up, there'll be some people in Blacktown with high-speed broadband and some people without high-speed broadband. Some people with fibre technology and some people with copper technology to their house. And the Shadow Minister for Broadband and the copper economy over there, what he had to say in the local paper about this was that he acknowledged that the technology under their plan would need to be upgraded down the track. So it's acknowledged that you'll put in a second-rate system, knowing that you're passing on to future generations the need to upgrade the system in order to meet— How awful! He just doesn't get it. How awful, says the Leader of the Opposition. Why not try and get it right the first time and use 21st century technology rather than 19th century technology that was put in by the PMG? That's where they're stuck. That's where they're stuck. And the problem is that those opposite will create a digital divide in communities right around the country. They think it's all about downloading, but it's about uploading. This is as short-sighted as the famous quote of the late 70s from Ken Olsen, who said, "There is no reason for any individual to have a computer in his home." And we know today how fast technology has moved on. We know how vital the infrastructure of the 21st century is. We need to compete in the Asian century, and we need to compete on the basis of
his seat. The Minister will resume his seat. The member for Wentworth on a point of order.
Yes, relevance, Madam Speaker. The member for Greenway asked the Minister to update the House on the rollout of the NBN, and I'm very anxious. There's only 44 seconds left, and he hasn't had time to tell us that it's only reaching about 10.
The member will resume his seat. That is an abuse of points of order. The Minister has the call.
Thank you. It's been
Order!
The old Shadow Minister for Copper Economy's on the ball. He's on the ball. He's on the ball. It might be that he gets into the 20th century before he gets to the 21st. The truth is he knows. He was so embarrassed by his Leader of the Opposition when they launched the policy. Remember that? There's the Leader of the Opposition, Sonny Bill Williams. Is it an apparition? Is it computer-generated? No idea. The rollout is happening, and it's happening in Blacktown. It's happening in Marrickville today. It's happening in Vaucluse, Malcolm. They know the benefit of the NBN, and it's happening right around Australia. And it is important that we don't create a digital divide.
The Minister's time has expired. Order. I would have thought, given the number of people I've asked to leave the chamber, that would have sent some kind of signal. Obviously not. The member for Greenway has the call.
A supplementary, Speaker. Minister, you've spoken about rolling out the NBN across Australia. Why is it important that we remove the digital divide?
The member will commence her question again. The member for Greenway has the call.
Minister, you've spoken about rolling out the NBN across Australia. Why is it important that we remove the digital divide that exists between regional and urban Australia?
The Minister has the call.
I thank the member for her question, because one of the great benefits of the NBN is overcoming the tyranny of distance that has made it more difficult to do business in regional Australia than in the CBDs of our capital cities. That's why new areas switched onto the NBN so far this year include Gungahlin, Toowoomba, Coffs Harbour, Bacchus Marsh and Gosford. Right around the country in regional communities, the NBN is overcoming that tyranny of distance. That's why it's important that it be rolled out throughout regional communities so as to overcome the digital divide. But there's something even worse from the opposition, which comes to pricing policy, because we have ensured uniform national wholesale pricing, so that whether you live in Coffs Harbour or you live in Camperdown, you do it for the same price. But under their policy, that would go. Now, the National Party pretend leader, Barnaby Joyce, told the Senate less than 2 years ago that the National Party believes in uniform pricing absolutely. Well, they've been pretty quiet in recent times. And Fiona Nash said, at the same time, the Australian public, if they think a fibre to the node will deliver high-speed broadband to rural and regional areas, or they are being deliberately deceitful and are trying to trick the public into supporting a plan they know is flawed. Indeed, it is a flawed plan. It is fraud-banned, and we need to make sure that the whole of Australia benefits from the